Have you ever been in that situation where you feel like you're giving absolutely everything to a relationship, but you're the only one trying? Well, today, we're going to talk about the incredible shift that happens when you finally stop chasing an emotionally distant partner and instead discover the quiet, steady power of your own silence. Let's dive in.
You know, this quote just cuts right to the heart of it, doesn't it? This whole thing, it's not about playing games. It's not about giving someone the silent treatment to get a reaction. Nope. It's about that moment when your own heart just gets tired of begging for tenderness because it feels like you're abandoning yourself. This silence, it's the ultimate act of self-preservation.
So before you get to that silence, there's usually this long, drawn-out, and just exhausting period of chasing. It's this painful cycle where you're constantly trying to earn affection. And that process, well, it can slowly but surely steal your peace of mind and your confidence. I bet this feels familiar. You try to explain your needs, right? You ask for just a little more connection, and what you get back is resistance. It makes you start to question everything. You think, am I being unreasonable? Are my expectations just way too high? Maybe I'm the problem here.
And it is so important to get this straight. You were never asking for perfection. You were asking for the basics: presence, consistency. You were just asking for a love that didn't feel like a constant audition where you had to prove you were worthy of being cared for. Look, these aren't some extravagant demands. They are the absolute foundation of any real healthy connection.
And this just lays out that whole downward spiral perfectly, doesn't it? First, you explain your feelings, just hoping they'll hear you. When that doesn't work, you try harder. You give more of yourself. Then you start making these empathetic-sounding excuses for them. Oh, they're just stressed, or they're scared of intimacy. But all those excuses, they're really just chipping away at your own confidence until there's almost nothing left.
And then, eventually, you just hit a wall. You get to the end of that road. There's no big dramatic scene, no screaming match. You just stop. You stop walking toward them. That is the turning point. That's where silence becomes a conscious choice, not because you're angry, but for your own sanity.
And this is just such a critical way to frame it. Your silence is not a weapon you're using against them. It's a shield. It's protection for you. After all that time trying to manage their moods and earn their attention, this quiet withdrawal is probably the first, truest act of love you've shown yourself in a very long time.
And let's be real, this huge shift probably didn't happen in one big bang. It was a bunch of small, quiet, but incredibly powerful moments of self-respect adding up. It was that moment you decided not to send that second text. The moment you stopped saying sorry for just wanting to know where you stood. The moment you put your phone down and realized, wow, I'm the only one ever reaching out here.
And in those small moments, you probably felt two totally opposite things at the exact same time. On one side, this huge wave of relief, right? Because you were no longer putting your heart out there just to have it ignored. But on the other side, a deep sense of grief. Because you were finally, truly accepting the painful fact that you can't force love and you can't carry a relationship all by yourself.
Okay, so you've found a little bit of peace, you've stepped back, but then the weirdest thing happens. The very person who seemed so comfortable with all that distance, suddenly they're freaking out. So let's break down exactly why your newfound calm is way more terrifying to them than your emotional pleas ever were.
I mean, this is the million-dollar question, right? Think about it. They could handle your tears. They could handle you being upset. Maybe they even called you too emotional or dramatic. They could brush it off. But your calm, your quiet detachment, whoa, for some reason that is the one thing they cannot handle. So what is going on here? Well, the answer is all about what each state communicates. Your tears, your emotions, even when they were messy, they proved you were still invested. They proved that person still had the power to affect you. It kept you in their orbit. But your calm, your calm feels different. It feels final. It feels like a door quietly clicking shut, not slamming. It's a decision that can't be argued with or manipulated. It completely removes their access to your emotional energy.
And this right here, this gets to the hidden trigger. On the surface, their panic looks like they're afraid of losing you. And maybe they are, a little. But what's really going on deep down? The real fear is about losing control over you. See, they were comfortable when they could pull away, knowing you'd always be there emotionally available. Your calm completely shatters that dynamic.
So it's so important that we reframe this idea of detachment.
This isn't about being cold or trying to punish somebody. This is about finally honoring yourself. It's the moment you stop abandoning your own needs in the hope that someone else will finally choose you. This quote just says it all. Detachment is what happens when your nervous system is just plain exhausted. It's tired of being on high alert, tired of walking on eggshells, tired of the uncertainty. It's that moment you choose to be loyal to your own peace over being loyal to a painful, predictable pattern.
So what is this new boundary really saying? It's saying my worth is not up for discussion anymore. It's saying my needs are valid and I am done making them smaller just to make you comfortable. And, most importantly, it says I deserve a love that doesn't ask me to betray my own heart to get it.
Now, here's something to watch out for. When you first start setting these boundaries, you are probably going to feel a huge wave of guilt. But I want you to see that feeling for what it really is. That guilt is just the sound of your old patterns, your old survival habits of overgiving, and they are screaming to pull you back to what's familiar, even if what's familiar was hurting you.
And that brings us to the final stage, which is honestly the most empowering part of this whole journey. This is about looking forward. It's about consciously choosing peace over the old chaotic patterns. It's about building a brand new standard for what love is supposed to look and feel like in your life.
And this just shows the shift so clearly. Your old standard was basically anxiety pretending to be devotion. You know that feeling? Your mind spiraling, waiting for a text back, overanalyzing every single word, and you called that love. Your new reality? It measures love by safety, by how steady and predictable the connection feels, and by how free you feel to just be yourself without being afraid that it's going to push them away.
And at the end of the day, your entire point of view just flips. You stop looking for validation from someone else. The big question in your mind is no longer, do they want me? The question becomes, can they meet me? Can they actually show up with real consistency and effort? Can they love me in a way that feels steady and safe?
This metaphor is just so powerful, isn't it? Your presence, your love, your emotional energy, that is a gift. It's not a guarantee. Your heart is not a public waiting room where someone can just wander in and out whenever they please, totally confident that you'll always be there waiting for them to make up their mind.
And that's the final thought I really want to leave you with. For maybe a long time, you measured love by how much pain you could tolerate for it. But the real measure of love is safety. The right kind of love isn't going to require you to go silent just to finally be heard. So the question for you, for all of us, is this. In what small way are you going to choose your own safety today?